Hi, how's it
Brandy.
going?
How's it going? How are you?
I'm good. This is my first Instagram live, so I'm really
Uh,
pumped.
well, I had to like give you like okay the instruction, you know, look at the live, go in the request, and then da. But it's very easy,
It's
isn't
super
it?
easy. It's like
Yeah.
very intuitive. I was like waiting there to get the little pop up, and then
Yeah, 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 yeah,
I
yeah.
like got another pop up, and I was like, ooh, and I was like, no.
This is like a new way of communication from now on, you know.
It's
And as you know now a lot of people like just checking with us, like, listening to our conversation.
yeah, I think it's so organic and it feels so
Mm,
chill and nice. So it's
yeah.
a great platform. I'm enjoying it already.
So you're at home, I take it, right? I mean, obviously.
Home, I found like a little chic corner in the apartment that's been sealed off from everybody else. So there's just like strict instructions for no one to enter this room.
Right, right, right. So you are moving house. That's what you told me. Are you still in the midst of it?
We're officially moving on Friday. So we're like, the countdown is on.
But have you finished packing? Are you
Uh,
all ready to go or?
totally. Absolutely.
Down to
Honestly,
the last minute.
it's good. I'm a little bit of a last minute person, so I think it's going to be like the 48-hour sprint.
Right, right, right. But I mean, it always is with moving anyway, you
Yeah.
know.
Well, it will.
So I was just sharing with everybody that I've known you for a couple of years now, but this is when you were in your previous life as a PR and marketing of like some established brands. And then since then you've moved on, obviously, and
Yeah.
created Sans Faff,
Yeah.
which is which was actually created in the most inopportune time.
Well, you know what? A lot of people have been saying that, but it's been okay so far. And because a lot of our clothes have that super soft bamboo feel, it
Mm,
really translates into that whole wave of loungewear that we're seeing online. So
right,
if I had launched a swimwear brand, I think I might be in a bit of trouble. But so far, it's been okay.
right.
The greatest challenge that we're facing right now is our supply chain, which I know is echoed throughout the entire fashion industry right now. Everybody's
Yeah.
overlooking, trying to see what
Mm.
to do. We primarily, well, all of our collection is made here in Singapore. Um,
That's
and
amazing, actually, isn't it?
yes, with the exception of our fabric, we buy our fabric in China. One of the cool things, so we work with a mom and pop, very small little factory in Geelong. They have their own informal, they've been working for about 30 years. They buy their factory from their little connections that they've built over the time that they've established their factory.
Mm.
Um, and so they've got their little network of fabric suppliers, and from China. So when COVID first, became a thing in February, it was kind of on the cusp of us launching. We had enough stock. Um, we're still okay in that regard right now,
Mm.
but it is a bit of a struggle because our factory has been closed since Chinese New Year, and
Right.
we're not entirely sure if they will ever be able to open back up,
I
which is
know.
at reality right now.
Yeah, that's what you're
Uh,
telling me. But okay, before we go there, actually,
yeah,
for the uninitiated, can you tell us a little bit more about Sunspot?
sure. So I started the label because I wanted to fundamentally disrupt the sustainable fashion market and what was
Mm.
available. Um, I really struggled to find things that really spoke to my personal style. I found that over and over again, I was running into the same aesthetic, kind of the typical hemp fabrics, earth
Mm.
tones, flowy patterns, and that didn't really work for where I was working and living and my lifestyle. And I also struggled to find sustainable and ethically made options that were also affordable.
Mm.
So out of that came Sans Faff, and so we make minimalist women's wear basics. It's meant to be the foundation to your wardrobe, things that you can wear over and over again. Doesn't matter what season it is. The beauty of bamboo fiber is that it holds its color exceptionally well. So you can wash it over and over again. And it really takes that sort of sustainable level to how many wears am I going to get out of this collection or out of this purchase. I read a stat recently that 1/3 of Singaporeans only wear their clothes once before throwing them out. And to me, that's mind-boggling, and I know it's echoed throughout the world. It's something that we're of. So I think that going back to those basics that you can love and wear over and over again is something that we're seeing a shift towards, and kind of help to establish the foundation to the label.
Right. So from the get-go, it has always been about that credo, the whole sustainability, and that has always been the motto of Sans Faff, am I correct?
Yes, from the amount of times that you can wear it, and then also in terms of, we have a few different parts of our sustainability story. Bamboo itself is a natural fiber, so it's biodegradable. It doesn't take 1,000+ years to biodegrade in a landfill. Great. Bamboo grows 1 meter a day, which is like the most wildest thing to me. I love learning about that. So we consider it kind of a renewable resource, and it grows like weeds, so you're not cutting down endangered forests like a lot of viscose we see in the market in rayon. So we've got that sort of element. We have full oversight of our factory here in Singapore, so we know that it is ethically made, and we're zero plastic. So our supply chain, as soon as the fabric arrives here in Singapore, we are absolutely, I can attest to it because I deal with it all myself, that we're absolutely zero plastic. We're plastic free from the minute the fabric arrives, and when basically the garment reaches your doorstep.
Wow. Right. And so now you're on your first collection, because you just launched it in February, didn't you?
Yes, we just launched on the heels of a pandemic.
Right. Okay, a couple of people are talking about a Monica dress and a Jennifer dress.
Yes.
So, Nicole De Silva is talking about Jennifer dress. Is that part of your collection?
Yes. So all of the dresses are actually named after my favorite, most inspiring women in my life.
Right.
The whole girls squad that helped to make it happen, and a lot of them are very important parts of also convincing me to make the plunge and to take that big career change from what was a glam dream job before. We'll start up and investing my entire personal savings into.
Wow. So how long did it take for you to give birth to Sans Faff? Because I know that you were like you were toying with the idea, and there was like a lot, because I know that you're such a perfectionist. So you're talking about like the visuals, imagery, and then the packaging and everything. So how long did it take for you to come out with that?
It took 1 year.
Wow. Okay. So in 1 year, like you did research about the fabrics and whatnot.
Yeah.
So now it comes to this whole made in Singapore. How much of it that you were being aware you wanted to keep it in Singapore, and why?
So made in Singapore for me is an opportunity to, in a very small way, give back to a country for me that has become my home. And that also getting caught up in the luxury world, it becomes very small. And so I wanted the opportunity to go beyond that whole scope and to work with the workshops that are here. And I think that it's really important to empower your local community and to give back to other fellow small entrepreneurs as well. Creating that small community and supporting one another, as I've realized, being a startup is kind of everything. And so I think it's I think a very important thing for local brands to try
Mm.
and keep it as local as possible.
Right, right, right. But I think the basis of the brand, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
is more about honesty and helping others because you are still in the pursuits of the sustainability aspect of the brand. Am I correct?
Yeah. So, I mean, another really important part of keeping it local in terms of our
Mm.
production, being able to have full oversight and to know, okay,
Yeah,
what it's like. I feel comfortable working here. I don't
yeah,
think we're going to see another Rana Plaza disaster and putting people's lives at risk to create a dress. Like all of that is super important. And so I think that local production in that sense that is everything. But
yeah,
to be honest, that being said, given our situation with the
yeah,
pandemic and our local factory, and them not being online since February, I don't know
yeah,
what's going to happen.
yeah. It's tough for everybody, I'm sure.
Yeah, because I
But
mean, fabric was cut off. The supply was cut off in
yeah,
January,
right.
and policies here and stuff. So it's been challenging.
Yeah. But so now, are you what piece are you wearing right now? I'm sure that sounds foul.
I'm wearing the Lorraine dress, which is very lovingly named after my former colleague from Tiffany, Lorraine Thomas.
Of course, we love Lorraine. We love Lorraine. Do I want to see this dress. Can you stand up? I want to see.
Oh, okay, we're back on. Sorry, I dropped you. I don't know if you can
There
see
you
it,
go.
but basically
Okay, we're
it's
back
knee
on. Right, yeah, yeah,
length. It's perfect for like luxury and events and popping on a pair of Converse,
yeah. Right,
motoring around London, adding a jacket to it. You can accessorize it. It's like a blank
right.
canvas that you can dress up with heels or dress down with Converse, put a leather jacket on it.
Or wear, or or wear like a beautiful necklace on top of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing I love about bamboo is it's stretchy, and all of our dresses are double lined.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, so
Okay.
it's got a lot to give, but we've double lined it so that it's obviously not going to go transparent. Um,
Oops,
oh, hi,
sorry.
Lou. That's okay.
And then.
Um, and it's got that extra bit of fabric that kind of creates a bit of a shapewear effect. The
Right.
one thing that drives me mad is like, you go onto these websites, Zara, ASOS, whatever, you
Mm,
see the perfect black dress, you're like, okay, I can wear this to work. This can be that sort of versatile dress they spend a little bit of money on. And then you wear it once, it's completely transparent, it doesn't really cover the lumps and bumps that us
mm,
women have that you don't not necessarily want everyone to see.
yeah.
And so I made sure that basically it's like full double, it's a double dress if anything. And
Right. You combine it into one.
yeah, totally.
Mm,
And Lorraine, as you know, she's got the most beautiful curves. And so I had this dress in mind for her before I
right.
even had the idea of starting my own collection. I told her, I was like, girl, you got the Kim Kardashian body. I need to like get you this dress. And I'm like, if I have to make it myself, you're wearing this dress. And she absolutely loves it. She looks incredible on it, in it.
I think that's another beauty of your brand because there's some sort of like this sense of um, women and women around you, women who support you, you know. That's what I find beautiful about your brand. And has it always been the case with you?
I discovered and that was formative in my life was moving to Singapore. I was totally alone, and you create your tribe, your friends like family. And I think that
Mm,
that has been probably one of the biggest game changers for me. We all have our friends from back home, and no one will replace those, and they always have their special place. But when
mm,
you build your career and you've got these amazing women that you can kind of fight in the trenches with that stick together and you have that loyalty and support, it's everything. And I I'm glad that it's something that has come out in the brand, because I think that it's so important for everyone to have that little tribe of girls, because you'll
Yeah.
have your partner, you'll have your family, but there's something very special about the tribe.
Right, right. In fact, your visual collaborator is also a female photographer, am I correct?
Yes, Amberly Valentine.
Right, right,
Amber
right. So
really is a force of nature and a fierce
I
girl
love,
that I
yeah.
absolutely love.
I love the works that she had done for your brand, and I think has become somewhat the brand signature as well. So that's amazing. You know, when you find your groove and you're very sure of like your branding and everything. But how is it moving forward? Like with this whole situation, how where do you think Sans Faff will be?
So for us, our number one priority and goal for 2021 is to
Mm,
become fully transparent in our supply chain. So
yeah,
meaning I want to know exactly where the bamboo is grown, who's grown it, how much they're being paid, all the way through to the factory, wherever it might be in terms of themselves, all the way through again to it being delivered to your doorstep, whether it's here in Singapore or anywhere else in the world. Um, so as troubling as it has been in terms of the disruption with our factory here, I do have every finger and toes crossed that we'll be able to get back online with them and continue to work together. Um, but as an
mhm,
alternative, I am definitely researching options in the region still that can provide that fully transparent 360 soup to nuts approach so that we can be fully
yeah,
informed of the fabric story and as well as the manufacturing. So I think that
mm,
in terms of our sustainability commitments, that's where we're headed to, and that's where we're like fully committed to getting to as soon as possible. We're using this
mm,
opportunity to recalibrate and look at what we can do better. We're so new that I think we're very agile and we can shift and pivot quite
yeah,
quickly, which is great.
yeah, exactly. Mm,
But in terms of our next collection, looking at some beautiful organic linen and organic cottons. We'll always do
oh,
natural fibers. That's really
mm,
important. And
yeah,
keeping in line with the multiple wears and things that live in your wardrobe for multiple seasons and that won't go out of style or be a so-called it piece that only has a very short lifespan. Um,
right.
and that one thing that I think is super cool is that I we're kind of redefining our wardrobes in lockdown and with this whole work at home culture. I think that typically we would all get
Mm,
armored up for our jobs out in the world um, from 7 a.m. to
mm,
6:37 p.m. and we had a very specific outfit for that, men in suits, women in whatever. Um, Suddenly, that awkward timing when you'd get home and you weren't necessarily jumping in the shower or putting your pajamas on, but wanted to be in something comfortable from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. or 10 p.m. whenever you go to bed. That little window of time has now become most of our days. So I
yeah,
think that we're all
exactly. Yeah,
dressing for that like little window of time. So there's this huge opportunity in the market. I want to move away from loungewear because I just think that it kind of infers that we're all chilling and
saturated.
we're doing a lot of work too,
Yeah,
and we want to be comfortable.
yeah, yeah. From there, I mean, I'm all about comfort. I'm totally all about comfort. So I just wish that Sans Fapp also come out with men's line.
Honestly,
Maybe
it's
that's the next
going to be in
step.
the pipeline. It's absolutely
I'm
bamboo
sure.
men's shirts are the absolute best. My fiance has a whole
Oh
wardrobe
yeah.
of them. He wears them pretty much exclusively,
I'm
and then also
sure.
with the black, like stays super jet black because of that
Yeah.
color fastness thing.
Mm.
So I
Yeah.
can see that coming sooner than later.
Actually, I'm intrigued. How's the care of this bamboo fabric? Is it easy to care?
Yeah, it's super easy. So wash cold, lay flat, or
Mm.
hang to dry. That's it.
Right, right, right.
So it's perfect for
But not,
Singapore. Yeah,
yeah, and for travel, exactly, right?
yeah.
Mm.
And then the cool thing as well is if sometimes it can get a bit like crushed or whatever if you're traveling, but as soon as
Yeah,
you wear it and it basically adjusts to your body, all of
yeah.
those wrinkles will naturally like settle on their own the more you wear it throughout the day. So it doesn't require a lot of work.
And how big is your setup? Like, is there anyone helping you doing all of this research and designing and production and everything?
I am a one-man band. I'm doing everything to like the tambourine, the drums, the
No,
guitar.
but
Yeah.
you have your but you have your cheerleaders. You have your
Oh
group of
yeah.
friends who are like cheering you, yeah,
Honestly,
backstage.
it takes a village. It absolutely takes a village, and I think that
Yeah, 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 yeah.
even now getting the support that we chatted about it before, but having
Yeah.
Amberly Valentine, our photographer, she's located in
Mm.
Bali and offered to support us during this time and did some amazingly beautiful shoots with Inca Williams and
Yeah, I
Matt
heard. Yeah.
Ralph. And so, without that amazing support from people, I mean, all of the girlfriends are still, even at home, wearing their lockdown loungewear and taking pictures and keeping up all the content and helping with that, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, now it's more than ever that you would need to invest on good pieces that you can, wear for a long time.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
I think in fashion, everybody's been talking about the sustainability factor of the brand. We've been hearing more and more big brands shrinking down the collections, which means that the you would wear the piece that you buy for a longer time before being bombarded with like new
Yeah.
collection. So that's I mean you're ahead of the curve if anything.
I mean, I would love to take full, I mean, I think that multiple wears, all of that is fundamental. I think that dropping multiple collections really just comes down
Mm,
to the business model because it makes no sense for like a small label like mine to be tied to some sort of international fashion calendar that's dropping
yeah,
10 collections a year at 70 pieces. I mean,
yeah.
I wish I had that sort of capital in the bank for the label, but
Mm.
unfortunately, right now we're still um, a little bit small.
No, but I think that's exactly the unique selling point of Sans Faff, no? It's like it almost is very personal. I mean, you're telling us the story about how your manufacturing people are having troubled times now during COVID, and now you're trying to figure out where I'm gonna move, and this is exactly what everybody's facing, whether you're big or you're small.
Yeah.
So I'm I'm pretty sure those big brands is also facing the same problem.
Oh yeah. I'm also very interested in the whole concept of rescued fabric. Essentially, there's
Mm.
a lot of
Oh, I
brands
love
that,
that. I love that.
yeah,
Yeah.
they've abandoned a lot of, they've sort of put the deposit forward of 20-30% for these massive 100,000 meter runs of fabric in India and a lot of these developing countries, and have just full on canceled, forfeited the deposit, and essentially have left the factories with all this surplus fabric, and they're in big trouble because they need to sell it, and are looking for someone to like take it over. And so I think there's a lot of interesting parts to the business that are emerging as well, where people can get involved and make a small difference and repurpose these fabrics and help lighten the load for those for those factories,
Of course.
for their workers. So right now it's just I'm collecting data and I'm trying to find, what makes the most sense
Yeah.
for us, and how we can obviously have the greatest amount of impact, and sort of where all of those points meet. Hopefully we'll find the next steps for our next collection.
Yeah. Elian, our editor, is just sharing that she thinks Sans Faff, with its sustainable direction and emphasis on basics, is actually a very timely fashion brand for the times we live in now. I mean, exactly the point, no? I've always been I've always believed in buying less but buying best.
Yeah.
But it's not about the price tag. It's not about it's not about a certain kind of like branding or anything. I think that is a matter of belief. Uh, Comfort to me is really key, you know? I mean, yeah, fashion sometimes should hurt with the shoes and the whatnot, but now more than ever, exactly what Ilian is saying, is a time that we need to rethink, you know, and in fact, those big brands, they are rethinking, and I do hope that moving forward, you will find uh, a a better solution in your manufacturing, so then you can keep on creating,
Yeah.
and people can still buy your pieces. Um, and I fully support you in trying to make world a better place in the capacity that you can do with your brand, you know, minimizing waste and reducing, reusing, and I think that's amazing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Congratulations, and you know, knowing that you're doing all this by yourself, that's, you know, amicable. It's amazing. It's commendable, yeah.
Thank you. I mean, yeah, it does take a village. I feel like there's other people in the band. They're just, like on the side, chiming in,
Cheering,
cheering.
cheering, and because I remember when we met Lorraine, and then she was like, "You have to touch the this fabric. It's amazing. It's amazing." You know, so I mean, I wish you have the men's collection, so I'll be waiting for that.
It's a priority, I promise, and you'll be the first to have it. That is a
And
promise.
do share with us as well when you found, you know, you finally found like your new fabric discoveries, or you managed to find that manufacturing plant in India who are willing to sell the waste fabrics or something. Because I'm
Yeah,
sure in your
absolutely.
hand you can create something wonderful, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I just got this amazing sample pack from it's a fabric company called Pyrotex, and they're championing these very new sustainable fabrics, and one of them is actually made from seaweed.
No way.
Yeah, it's super cool. And so they're merging, I think, some seaweeds with
Right.
a little bit of cashmere to make it soft. And they talk about
Yeah.
actually the properties of how it feels on your skin, but also there's medical benefits to wearing it because of like the nutrients of seaweed, and it does transfer
Oh, that's
into the skin.
amazing.
Yeah, and I love that these fabrics don't necessarily um, they don't look like hemp, that
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
earth, it's not all just, you don't have to sacrifice your personal style in order to step up for the environment,
Yeah. Yeah,
that isn't
totally.
everything. You can find something in your own
Totally.
taste.
Yeah. Yeah. I think um just to share with everybody, we are coming up with a sustainability issue for Whole World June issue, and that's where we feature Sans Faff inside. And in the talking about sustainability, it's a never-ending process, and there will never be like one or the other because every little effort counts, right? And exactly what you say, like you don't need to live in a tent in a forest somewhere in order to save the world.
No, you don't. You absolutely do not. And I think that there's little steps that we can all take every day, small and large,
Yeah,
that will actually make a difference. And I
yeah,
think, when we look at our clothes, there is a cost, whether it's to the planet or whether it's the people making it. And so ultimately, we have to decide
yeah.
what steps we want to take to make sure that we're doing our best in that space.
Right, right, right. So talking about that, like sustainability, do you still keep pieces from like do you buy every season? Because I mean obviously you're not only wearing Sans Faff day in and day out, you have other pieces. But I'm saying is that when you buy, do you factor in the longevity of it? Are you still wearing the pieces that you had like 3 years ago?
Yeah, absolutely. So I really struggled with, and I think working in fashion, um, I've
Hmm.
never been the type of girl to be able to pull off the tutu and the bejeweled shoes and whatever wildly fabulous outfit that I see these extraordinary influencers wearing. I'm so inspired by it. Every so often, I'll get this like weird urge and confidence out of nowhere to try something, and then it just looks absolutely absurd. Just
No.
no, it doesn't work. It's okay. There's certain truths, and so one of my dear friends, who's I can see he's here, Daniel. He said, "You know what, Brandy? There's one thing that you need to accept, and that's you will never be a victim of fashion because you
Yeah,
choose to go Audrey Hepburn as opposed to the trend of the moment." And
yeah.
I think that when I look at my wardrobe, some people might say, like, wow, that's boring. um,
No.
but I see classic, timeless pieces. I have
Yeah,
pieces that are 10 years
yeah,
old that I
yeah.
still feel great wearing, and it doesn't
Mm,
require 20 extra minutes in the morning to decide what to wear, which is also something that I go for. Um,
yeah,
I've got my black sort of Gucci belt and my,
yeah,
pencil pants and my turtleneck. And
yeah.
some people might say, like, okay, are you going to like a slam poetry contest, or like you got a lot of emotion? Like, what's happening? But to me, it's like, I know what I'm going to wear this morning. I know exactly what it's going to
Yeah,
get the job
yeah,
done. In my mind, it looks chic.
yeah,
I feel confident about this outfit, and my wardrobe
yeah.
pretty much looks quite solidly like that.
Mm.
Monochrome. Sans Faff is a peep into the reality of my wardrobe, I'd have to say.
Right, 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 right.
And Steve
Yeah, can't
Jobs.
wait. Daniel just saying, menswear, please, he say. So we can't wait for the menswear. So thank you so very much, Brandy. Thank you for sharing all of this with us.
No problem. Thank you so much for having me and for giving me the chance to tell Sans Faff stories in her world. I'm so
Of
excited to
course, of
see it with
course.
the June issue. That's something I've been
Yeah, of
on.
course.
And
Yeah, I mean, ever since you came out with the brand, I mean, I know that I'm waiting for the right moment to just like break it to the world, and our June issue is just so perfect because, like I mentioned, it's not only about being, the sustainable effort part of it, but also the part where you and your group of friends have this sense of camaraderie and helps you in building this brand, this beautiful brand.
thank you. I'm so glad that that
Yeah.
comes through in the brand because it's definitely
No,
a
for sure.
big
I mean,
part of my life.
yeah, I mean, call me sensitive, but this kind of nuances, I can sense it, if you know what I
Okay.
mean. But yeah, we can't wait to hear what's next for Sans Faff. I mean, if you have anything new, whenever new, let us know, and maybe we can check in with you again soon, hopefully.
Absolutely. We just we're stocked with what women want at
Oh,
Mandarin Dallas.
cool.
So you can try before you buy. You have the opportunity to check out the collection there. That's something new
Mm.
that we've been working on. And so once we are all able to step out and shop once again, there's the opportunity there. It's one of our exciting new adventures.
But at the moment, can people still buy from your online shop?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, cool. All right, right. So people, please check in on this is sansfaff.com.sg.
No, just sansfaff.com.
Perfect. So check up on that, and then thank you so very much once again, Brandy.
Thank you, Wendy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and thank you everyone for tuning in, and I'll see you again next Tuesday. Wendy, I'll speak to you again.
Bye.
Bye.